Well, look, who doesn't want to work in sport, really? I was an ex-footballer myself back in the day and forged out a career in sports marketing around the world and came back to Australia recently, and what better place to work but at Sydney Football Club. Yeah, look, it's difficult in terms of getting into an environment where there's a lot of people wanting to work in sport and not a lot of jobs. So I think getting in and volunteering at an early age, I think, is a really good way of getting known. I think I can speak for our football club. 90% of the people we employ at a lower end level come from a volunteer program. So I'd always put my hand up for some unpaid work. Look, winning, sport is all about winning. So the beauty of working in sport is you have a result every Saturday or Sunday when the team go and play, and when our youth teams and youth development programs come together. So you've always got an outcome that you don't often have in the business sector. But I think largely just seeing people improve, whether that be in your administrative staff or on the field or in the coaching staff, the people improving is what really makes it exciting. I think you need people to follow your lead. I think particularly in sport, there's probably two areas that are visible to the public and the organisation. One is what happens on the field and the head coach and captain, and equally the CEO and chairman. So I think really getting people to buy into your methods and your leadership is really important. And if you can bring people on that journey, you'll have success. Well, I'd like to think they'd see me as fairly empowering. At the end of the day, I'm not a micromanager. I think if you've got to micromanage exec teams in organisations like ours, they may as well not be in the job. So I think, empowering people to do the job, supporting them, helping them, getting my hands dirty when I need to, but ultimately letting people be who they are and execute on the task is really important. Yeah, I think letting footballers be footballers is a really important part of what I do. If I start to meddle in the day-to-day tactics of a football club as a CEO, you're going to come unstuck. We trust people in the football department of the organisation to do what they do best, and CEOs should let them do that to the best of their ability. There's obviously times when you might need to step in and provide some guidance and some support, but largely it's up to them. Yeah, it's critical. Like any business sector or industry sector, having an education is important in getting the right role. I would also say that having on-the-job experience is equally as important. I think in this environment these days, a lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves to get tertiary education and possibly stay in education systems too long. I think that getting a foundational education is critical, but moving on into the real world, so they say, is an important way to go. Look, I think work ethic, with anything, particularly in sporting organisations, we're typically under-resourced, so having someone that's willing to roll their sleeves up and really lead by example with the work they do is important. That's hard to often see in an interview situation, so we tend to rely heavily on network and information coming out of the industry on an individual. So I think if we can, obviously the aptitude and intelligence that goes with that, often, that's always important, but typically most of the people you interview are going to be smart. That's why they're in that part of the interview process. But really getting that insight into how they behave once they're in a role is really important. I think the biggest change that we're going to navigate is the shift in digital, from linear broadcast through to the influence of digital. If you look at major sports around the world, they're largely underpinned by the media rights deals that exist in their environment. Those are going to naturally evolve and change, and how we meet that demand and find that same money through different media channels is going to be a really key factor on the success of sports management in the future. I have two young kids that keep me out of mischief, and I think being able to support them in their sports, their own personal sporting ambitions is really important for me. It keeps me grounded at a grassroots level as well. When you're in professional sports, you can often get carried away, but being able to go back on weekends and coach my daughter's soccer team is a real grounding experience. And obviously keep fit, keep healthy. I think it's really important. Underestimate how important your own health and well-being is to doing a good job.